I'm so glad it's Saturday. This morning on the House floor, we had the first bill with Senate amendments to it. So it went all the way through its House committee, and then it went through the entire House of Representatives. But the senators who heard it said, oh, we think that maybe this needs some amendments. And I thought I'd show you. I've talked about the color coding. Every different step in the process gets printed on a different color of paper. So Senate amendments get printed on pink paper, and the amendments are listed, and then the bill is attached on this like coral color that shows the bill with the new amendments. And this is all actually written in the official rules that I was talking about yesterday, what color different things have to be printed on. Today we heard House Bill 284. It's the bill giving more money to the liquor stores, and it came through Business and Labor Committee, and I talked about the irony of folks who will not give money for school breakfast but will give money to liquor stores. And we've heard these bills that would have taken a few $100,000 and provided for school breakfast, or would have moved money that already exists and is sitting in a fund not being used to pay for school breakfast. And the argument against doing that is that we do not want to subsidize the delinquency of irresponsible parents, and that people should be feeding their own kids. And so we had this bill that had $1.5 million a year, so a total of $6 million over 4 years to go to liquor stores. And we said, really? And we also said this benefits the biggest stores the most, and we like to help the smaller businesses. So they amended it, and so we got this hot pink fiscal note that is still a significant amount of money to $3.5 million. I am not saying in any way that my local liquor store doesn't deserve more money, and we shouldn't help these guys out doing business. But especially in light of the fact that the argument against the school breakfast is about delinquent and irresponsible parents, really? We heard House Bill 287, which is the bill I just talked about yesterday in Business and Labor, that makes it more illegal to scam senior citizens and disabled people. It increases the fines and just makes it a lot tougher on a scammer. And Representative O'Neill today, bless his heart, stood up and said that we should not pass this bill that protects seniors and the disabled because he personally has been charged with unfair trade practices. So again, really? 19 Republicans today voted not to protect seniors from scammers. Go look at the vote. We heard House Bill 416, which was the data bill that I just talked about from Business and Labor. The nurses asked for the same exact thing, and the Republicans voted them down. And then in Business and Labor, the doctors asked to be able to gather workforce data. And I had voted yes for it in committee because I agreed with it. And you could hear the black helicopters hovering this morning on the House floor as one after another Republicans got up and said, we should not be gathering data. This should be optional. You should not have to do this as part of your license requirement. And so the Republican that was carrying the bill, when it was time for him to close, said something really interesting. He was one of the top guys for Mitt Romney in the state of Montana. And so in his closing, he said, some of you might not know that the last 2 years of my life I spent on the campaign trail, referring to his time he spent on the Romney campaign. And, those people really want this bill. And I thought that was an interesting way to spin it. And I thought that it was kind of him threatening his party. And so I changed my vote. I helped them kill this data collection bill by being one of the no votes. It was just interesting. We heard House Bill 420 today, that is a bill to enhance the Montana Food and Agricultural Development Program. So this is there is a program that allows for up to 4 centers on agricultural research and development, and it costs $195,000. And this would have allowed for more centers if necessary, and would have also given $300,000 instead of $195,000. One Republican stood up and said, "This is not the job of government." Really? Research and development is not the job of government? I hope if you're from a rural area or an agricultural area, you call your representative and tell them that this program is important to you and you think that all of the Republicans should be supporting it. It's still passed. It took so long. And if you were watching today, you saw a move for cloture. If 2 people have spoken for a bill and 2 people have spoken against a bill and more than 30 minutes have passed for the discussion, anyone can stand up and request cloture, and then the body votes, and if more people vote yes than no, the discussion is ended. And that happened today. There was no reason to spend this long on this good bill, and literally people stood up and said, "This isn't just a bad bill, this is a terrible bill. Don't help these people out." It was a bipartisan bill. It had Republican and Democrat names on it. You know, things are heating up when you start getting a note on your desk saying, "Don't forget to get your blood pressure checked every Wednesday." Yikes. Have a great weekend.